Okay, that's not going to be good with the... Okay, I got to mute it.
Oklahoma, huddle up. It's time to go inside the High School Huddle on Hot 93.7 FM and streaming worldwide on GuthrieSportsPage.com. The High School Huddle will take you where you want to go with coaches, players, your phone calls, texts, and tweets. Join the huddle and let's talk high school sports.
It is a High School Huddle here on Hot 93.7 FM KSPI. Welcome aboard along with Miss Mustang Bronco, Jordan Leachman in our Stillwater studio, Phil Nichols, Chris Evans with you. It is a High School Huddle presented by our good friends at Generations Church, 2524 West Noble, our title sponsor for the High School Huddle all season long since the opening kickoff. And glad to have them, as always, Pastor Josh Seabolt and the crew over there. As this will be our next to last show for the season. We'll come with you next week and get ready for some semifinal action in the big schools in Class 6A. Then get ready for some quarterfinal action next week. But we got some great games this week. We're going to go over those. We're going to go over the brackets and all that good stuff. Phil, how are you doing?
I'm good. We're a little different look tonight. We're having some technical things going on.
Well, on the video side of things, but we'll upload those later and all that good stuff. So, hey, there, Trey Alexander, the great basketball standout over at Heritage Hall, 4-star player, number 1 player in the state of Oklahoma, made his college decision to go to the University of Auburn.
Auburn University.
Auburn University.
Was he hate everybody in Oklahoma? I mean, what's going on?
I don't think that any of the state schools were in his final 3, but
kid ready to get out and spread his wings a bit.
Oh, War Eagle, the wing.
War Eagle spreading.
Yeah, I don't know if it was on purpose. Yeah, actually, right. But so congratulations. Of course, Auburn had a great season. No one had a good season last year, but the year before, they were really good. Bruce Pearl over there, the head coach. So
I bet he's a heck of a recruiter.
I mean,
just a fun guy.
Yeah, he does look like a fun guy, and that's probably that helps him. But when OU and OSU and Kansas and some of those schools were in the mix, and then you hear Auburn, you're like, huh,
yeah,
all right, good luck.
Well, it seems to be a trend right now too, because you're seeing a lot of these highly recruited kids talking about going to historically black universities.
Yeah.
And that would be interesting. I think with Deion Sanders taking over at Jackson State, his son, I think, is a 3-star kid, or maybe even a 4-star kid, his boy.
4.
Plays quarterback.
Yeah.
And I think when he committed to Jackson State, and all he simply said was, "I got your back, Pops."
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
No, we'll see how it works out. Deion's quite a competitor. He'd probably bench his son if a kid could do better. But no, there used to be those 5 or 6 elite programs that got everybody that they wanted, right?
Right.
And could even get a lot of great kids to walk on and do things. Those days are getting more and more difficult to get these kids to do. They're more conscious of, let's go where I can play, have a good experience. The names don't quite carry what they used to, I don't think.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
It will. Some other recruiting news as we begin the High School Huddle here on this Wednesday night. Braylon Presley picks up another football offer.
Oh.
It really don't matter, though. Temple University.
Oh, Temple. That's a fine university.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
where's that located, Chris?
Out east.
Out east.
Yeah.
Okay.
Temple.
What state's it in?
Pennsylvania.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's all we needed. Just wanted to narrow it down a little bit.
I got a question about Braylon Presley.
Yeah.
Is Tulsa not interested in? Is he live too close to Tulsa University, or why? Can he not get an offer from Tulsa? Or are they?
Do we know?
Are they waiting for Christmas to give it to him, or what's going on with Tulsa?
Well, is he academically good?
I would think so.
Yeah.
He's only a junior.
Oh, you got plenty of time. Is what you're saying?
Well, yeah. OSU offered him.
Well, right. No, I know. I'm just saying Tulsa's, I think, academic standards are a little higher than OSU.
Well, they can't sacrifice a few points on the grade average for.
I'm just saying that might be.
Yeah, that could
that,
be.
And they also might believe that they don't have a shot.
Well, if you don't offer, you have zero shot.
Okay, now you sound like my dad. mean, sometimes you got to be willing to take a butt whipping, kid. Sometimes you got to be. I could rattle off sayings, but that would be one of them.
Another note off the field. Breaking news here: Bryce Drumming, Player of the Year in District A5. A5 District Player of the Year. That came out. So.
Well, it's good.
Yeah.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah, I think there's probably some more awards coming his way than just the A5 District Player of the Year. But breaking news, and you heard it here, third or fourth. Fifth, whatever it was. So, Matt Hennessy, the head coach over there, also
Matt Hennessy, wasn't he at a Pawhuska before?
He's still there.
Oh, he's still there. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Still there. Yep.
Okay.
Coach of the Year at Pawhuska for District A5.
Matt Hennessy?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Okay, well, the big news, I think, off the field, and we'll get to the COVID games here in a little bit, but Muskogee High School and Coach Rafe Watkins mutually agree to go separate ways. Rafe Watkins, of course, won 4 state championships in Guthrie, and his span there from 2001 2013 was 133 and 30. During his time in Guthrie, took the Muskogee job in 2014. 7 seasons, finished with an overall record of 35 and 36 with the Roughers. And this season, obviously, nowhere where they were hoping. 0-7, finished 0-7 on the season. Midwest City got them last week in the playoffs. Was it 39-0? It was 39-0. And of course, Gentry Williams, the great athlete, has committed to Oklahoma State University, had an injury early on, did get to play against Midwest City in his final game. I don't know how effective or how much he got to play, but he did get to play in his final high school game in the feat. But both Rafe Watkins and Muskogee both agree it's what's best for Rafe and best for the program to separate.
Yeah, of course, that's big news here in Guthrie today. A lot of people have been talking about that, and we talked a little bit about it last night in the podcast, but I'll just say what we said last night. Rafe's a Hall of Fame coach. He's won 4 state titles as a head coach.
Yeah.
One of a very few to win that many.
Yeah, a lot of coaches love to have one.
And I think, Rafe's originally from Prague, and I think Mike Brown's article last night, I shouldn't say, but the interview he did with Rafe, I think kind of echoed or confirmed what I think a lot of people thought. He wants to get back closer to home, and kids are raised, and, so wish Rafe nothing but the best, and Karen and the whole family, and just hope they land where they want to land, and he does what he wants to do, and go from there.
Muskogee in 2016 made it to the state semifinals that year. That season they only lost 2 games that year, so that was by far the best year for Rafe during his tenure at Muskogee. So Muskogee will be looking for a head football coach right now, the interim head football coach. Of course, they're now officially in off-season after losing last week to Midwest City, but Travis Hill, former Tulsa East Central head football coach, who did have a state championship there, had won there, and he's he's got a lot of experience, and I'm sure he'll be a candidate for the job if he wants to do that. But
that's a tough place to win.
Do note they're opening up a $30 million stadium next year.
Doesn't suck.
Does not not too shabby. So it will be interesting to see who applies for that job, because I think that's still a great job. Usually year in, year out, have great athletes, and you're in 6A Division II.
But don't you agree, though, that outside of that one year when Rafe took him to the semis, it's been tough to win? And I don't.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, Rafe's a good coach, so it's not that. It's just, how do you?
Yeah.
I think now they will pay their coaches.
Yes.
They will write checks to get their coaches in there.
Yes.
But it has not been an easy place to win, and they've had good coaches down there, and I don't know. It's a tough job. Hopefully they find the right person that fits, and they can get things turned around for the community down there. But we shall see. And
I honestly thought when Rafe got that job in 2014, I thought it was going to be a pretty good mix. As far as wins, because Rafe's a good football coach. He's a good
very good manager of community
yes,
and program.
Yes.
Very, very good at that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, brother. It's just we talked about it last night on the podcast. At the end of the day, you got to have athletes to win high school football games.
Yep.
And people can go back and forth and debate, what comes first, I guess, the chicken or the egg. But I know this. Good coaches can win with good players, and good coaches cannot win with not good players.
Yeah.
And so it's just – it is what it is. Be
curious if Rafe wants to be a head football coach or an assistant coach. You have a lot of coaches that have accomplished nowhere near what Rafe has and just want to go closer to home and don't live.
Maybe
don't
be
be
an
the head
coordinator. Do something.
Yeah.
Now I don't know what the situation is in Prague.
They got beat last night, or not
as far
last
as
night.
The coaching.
Right.
I really don't
know.
But that would be a great. That would be a great option for Rafe and Karen if that job is. And obviously, I don't know.
Yeah, they obviously have a head coach right now.
Right.
Yeah, it's not open.
But there's a lot of there's a lot of programs around that area where Rafe's from that would be interested. And of course, Rafe's going to get plenty of phone calls about what does he want to do.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people that will approach Rafe about being their next head coach. So it'll all be good.
Yep. And so continue some news off the field. And speaking of Prague, they're one of the schools that are in the playoffs this week and said we can't go.
Yeah.
We can't go. Prague was supposed to go to Millwood. We kind of know what the score was going to be in that game anyway.
Yeah.
But Prague will not be able to play that game, so Millwood will advance. In Class 4A football, Cash at Blanchard, and Blanchard will host Tecumseh. What? Okay, that note is confusing here.
Boy.
I don't know. I'm second guessing this here that I'm looking at. Cash. Oh, I think that's. Okay. I see what happened here now.
Oh boy.
So here you go. Let's go to Class 4A. This is interesting. This is one of the scenarios that the OSSA brought up in the off season, or not off season, a couple weeks ago. Let me write it down here. Cash 49, Tecumseh 41. So here's what happens, Phil. Cash beats Tecumseh last week, 49-41, and Cash scheduled to play Blanchard this week. But Cash has COVID issues. Yep. Therefore, Tecumseh, who got beat by 8 points last week, will move on and play Blanchard.
Same thing happened to our Perkins boys, right? But they were on the.
But Perkins is playing
on the receiving end of that, right?
Yeah. Perkins said we're not playing football. And then they had a school board meeting, and they said we're going to do a lot of restrictions on a lot of stuff. We will play football. So there for a while, Perkins was not going to play football after dominating their opponent by several touchdowns. Yeah. And so you're going to have a team that was going to get beat. I think they got beat 56-7. Pauls Valley.
Right.
Perkins beat Pauls Valley 56-7. There for a few moments, Pauls Valley was going to, despite getting beat 49, was going to move on to the playoffs. But luckily, the school board and the superintendent elected to play sports for their kids. So that was awesome.
I know there was some talks there for a while on a situation perhaps over with El Reno. Did that get all worked out?
Yes. El Reno.
I know we're hopping around a little bit.
Yeah, no. This is all COVID related.
Right.
There was a COVID situation in El Reno, and I think it might have been a state agency or someone outside of the school, and said no. They have to with this case. You have to with contact tracing. They're out. And by that team, El Reno didn't have any teams, and so they re-looked at it. They sent more game film and all that good stuff, and it turns out that El Reno, who had a bye last week, will play Piedmont without 4 starters.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is one of them the quarterback?
Is not the quarterback. Dorian Plumley will play.
Then they'll win.
Now be careful. We got a large audience in in Piedmont. We don't want to lose all of our viewers. So be careful.
Very sensitive over in that area of the country.
Be very careful. But so El Reno had the scare that here's our best team in the last several years. Dorian Plumley's the senior quarterback. This is our last good chance that we know for certain. But yeah, they will El Reno
Well, I shouldn't
will play.
say that. If they're all 4 starting offensive linemen, it's going to be a tough deal.
I don't know the 4 positions, but and so
crazy. It's just crazy.
It really is
absolutely nuts.
It really is. So I mean, Kiefer at Adair is also canceled. Adair will advance in Class 2A football. Mitch and Prague in 2A football will not be able to play. So Millwood will advance. Class A football, Apache at Hooker. Apache will not be able to play in that game. Hooker advances. Hominy at Pawhuska. The Drummond kid will have the week off, the great quarterback up there, as Hominy cannot play. Warner at Okema. Okema cannot play that game, so Warner will advance. In Class B, Sealing at Laverne. Laverne will advance. Wetumpka at Keota. Wetumpka will advance. In Class C, Blue Jacket at Saskatchewan.
Oh, boy.
Saskatchewan will advance. So, luckily, not a whole lot. I say not a whole lot. 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, 9 games, 9 playoff games canceled due to COVID concerns. So,
wow.
So that's all the news off the field, and so you know what? We probably need to take a timeout here because I do have a couple other things off the field that we didn't get to. But we are definitely going to talk about some of the games last week and the games this week as we take a look at the state playoff brackets here. As it is NBA draft night. Go Thunder. Yay. Get all those draft picks. Get 50, get 100 draft picks. That'd be awesome. It won't result in any wins. We don't know who they will be, but I'm sure it'll pay off in 35 years when the Thunder get back into the playoffs.
Chris isn't bitter, though, about any of this. He thinks this is a great decision.
No, I mean, hey, get 40 draft picks.
We get it.
You know what? How about we just pick we have to get rid of everybody that's good. But
why are you so angry about this? I mean, seriously, why do you care? Why are you so passionate about this? It's a private business, Chris, so they get to run their business the way they want.
Yeah, get rid of everybody.
Well, I mean, they're in the business of making a profit.
Well, I would like for some wins to be in there.
Well, they paid a $70 million luxury tax and they couldn't win a title. What more do you want them to do?
Better get a roster.
What do you want them to do?
Better get a roster so we know who the players are.
You sound like you're 12 right now.
Well, I'm not talking about trying to win a championship, but at least try to be competitive, because I've seen it before, like Atlanta, Sacramento, those teams have been really, really bad for multi-years, and then you throw in the Oklahoma City market, and it's hard to get back up there. So, But you know what? All those draft picks, that'll be awesome.
Oh, boy.
I need to
take a break to pull him back in. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
All right, we'll be back after this. This is the High School Huddle presented by our good friends at Generations Church.
At Generations Church, we exist to love God, love people, and serve both well. We're a multi-generational, multicultural church that believes in being a light to our city and our region. At Generations, we don't believe that church can be put in a box. We're a church that accepts all people from all walks of life, young, old, rich, and poor, and you will feel welcome at Generations. Join us at 10 a.m. every Sunday at 2524 West Noble in Guthrie, America. You can also join us at generationsguthrie.online.church.
Today I'm sharing Golden Chick with the world.
Are you ready to taste Golden Chick for the first time?
100% tenderloin, that's where the golden tenders come from.
Marinated for 24 hours.
It is amazing.
Then we also got the rolls, made fresh.
It feels like they were just baked.
You know why it feels that way? They were.
Every time I go, I like to get extra rolls, so I love it.
Mm-hmm. We are being kind of photobombed right now by the one and only Clucky.
Have you met Clucky the chicken?
Don't get too starstruck. He's just a regular guy. One taste, and you're golden. He's on Tender. That's like a chicken dating app.
Sometimes you need immediate care and can't get in to see your doctor during regular hours. With Mercy Convenient Care in Guthrie, you can walk in without an appointment and get the medical attention you need at a lower cost and with shorter waiting time than your local emergency room. The Mercy Convenient Care is located at 2919 South Division. For any concerns, call 405-282-6301. Services are provided by Mercy Hospital, Logan County. Choose Guthrie. Choose Mercy. Aspen Roofing is a family-owned roofing company with more than 20 years of experience and achievements across Oklahoma. Aspen Roofing takes pride in the personal service we provide on each job, and we strive to maintain the highest level of quality while offering our customers a reasonable price. It is our commitment to help you understand the process of getting a new roof from start to finish. Call Robbie Hudson for a free roofing estimate at 405-562-0026.
Exxon was founded by 2 combat-proven veterans to help businesses grow from mediocre to exceptional. We know from experience that your culture and trust throughout the organization drive superior performance. Most business owners focus on the urgent rather than the important. They are just struggling to survive. The team at Exxon helps owners identify challenges, build solutions, and focus on growth. Do you trust your team? Does your team trust you? If not, we can help. We are Exxon.
Hey, you in the third row. Yes, you. When was your last dental checkup? Dr. Lewis Turney and his staff provide dental care in a fun, relaxing environment. Still not convinced? Prefer to sleep through your appointment? No problem. We can do that too. Our staff can ensure you have a relaxing experience no matter what. Got kids? Hey, so do we. Come see what all the moms are talking about. Our kid-friendly staff loves to provide care to even the tiniest of teeth. Give us a call today. We've got the whole family covered.
Give Dr. Lewis Turney a call at 282-7600.
For centuries, it was a windswept prairie until the run of '89 saw settlers scramble for land and life in a newborn town as Oklahoma's territorial capital, Guthrie. Bank First is loyal to the preservation movement that reclaimed Oklahoma's first state capital. And we're loyal to the banking legacy born at the corner of First and Oklahoma streets. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
Welcome back to the High School Huddle. Join the huddle yourself and let us know your thoughts by calling our toll-free number at 1-800-897-3678 or simply tweet us by using the hashtag OKHSHuddle. Now let's get back in the huddle and talk high school sports.
I mean, I understand the Chris Paul. That's $85 million for 2 years. I get that.
No, but if you pay a $70 million luxury tax for years and you don't win a title, when you sell out to do it, and you don't win a title, I don't hold the ownership responsible when they say, you know what? What else are they supposed to do?
Go to 20 wins, 25 wins?
Well, if they make money at 25 wins for a few years, what's wrong with that?
Well, don't you try to win at all costs?
Well, I mean, it's still a business, Chris. I mean, people want to make money. It's the same guy that was mad because Harden left and he was going to make more money. He was trying to feed his family.
$5 million more.
Trying to feed his family.
It is the High School Huddle.
Oh.
Presented by Generations Church.
Good friends of Generations Church.
Yeah, you find them online. You can also find them on Facebook. Just simply look up Generations Church and appreciate them all season long. A couple other notes. Tulsa Public Schools will not allow spectators into their winter sports until through November 30th. December 1st, they'll reevaluate that. And Oklahoma City Public Schools has suspended all winter sports until further notice. Oklahoma City Public Schools is allowing the fall teams to finish out, which is one school, John Marshall, still in the playoffs. So
they've suspended all basketball and wrestling.
Basketball, swimming, wrestling. Oklahoma City Public Schools until further notice. District announced the decision late last week, saying fall outdoor sports will be allowed to continue, but winter competitions and practices are postponed immediately until further notice because of the coronavirus numbers in Oklahoma City. It impacts basketball, wrestling, and swimming. And, again, John Marshall's the only football team left right now.
It's tough.
And, of course, Oklahoma City Schools, there was a big back and forth because they were going back to in-class instruction. And then it lasted for about 4 hours, and now they're back to the virtual, I think, start next week or whatever.
I saw an interview this morning with Joy and the superintendent of Oklahoma City Public Schools.
Sean McDaniel?
Yeah. And I thought they both did a really good job, but that's an impressive guy. He handled himself really, really well. Very sharp guy. And you know, like he said, and Joy, I think, said, you know, because the question was asked, is this going to set all the kids back academically? She goes, well, sure, there's going to be some shortcomings.
Yeah.
She said, but we're looking at the overall health of our student population. So, you know, it's a scary time. It's a crazy time. I read somewhere where I think it's 1 million. I don't remember the age group, but it was the kiddos. There's over 1 million positives in and I'm making this up, but it was like 10 or 11 and younger.
Gotcha.
And so I don't know why that affected me more than older people.
Yeah.
But that guy was kind of, I mean, now they have a high recovery rate. We know that too, but it's
right.
Yeah, it's just it's tough.
Yeah,
it's just tough.
And I don't know, because the political theater leading up to over the last few months has been crazy. And I guess I should ask. Well, I kept hearing that after the election, COVID was going away.
Well, we do all of a sudden get we have not one but two companies that say they have 95% success rate with vaccine, and I mean, so now listen. President Trump said in the last debate they were close and they'd have a vaccine by the end. I mean, so that shouldn't surprise anybody. Now, I think the people that inherently didn't believe anything he said probably thought that we're being cynical in that, but now it's coming out. But at the end of the day, it's a virus. It's like you and I have had this talk, right, about will you get the vaccine, will you not?
Oh, yeah.
But then I stopped and I realized I've been in the United States military. I've had every vaccination known to mankind.
Right.
What's one more?
Well,
I mean, and in school when I was a kid, we used to line up, roll our sleeves up, and we still got the little scar on our shoulder where we got the shots.
You're right.
I mean, so it's not like this is the first time somebody's talked about doing a vaccination.
Well, see, I don't even get a flu shot. So.
Well, no, I know. You get a little needle thing.
Yeah,
you're waiting for the pill form.
Yes.
Well,
yes. Yeah. I have not, luckily, thank goodness, I've never had a COVID test, but I've been waiting for the swab. I don't want to go up the nostril. I want the swab.
I think you got to experience both if you're going to report the news on it.
No. So,
okay.
Hey, let's take a look at some Class 6A1 football. Edmond Santa Fe beat their Edmond counterparts at Edmond North 63-24.
Okay.
Good news for Edmond Santa Fe. They have another West team to play this week, and the Westmore Jaguars, as they took down their crosstown friend in Southmore, won the game 41-17. So we have Edmond Santa Fe and Westmore in a West showdown, and more than likely will be the best chance for any school on the west side to come out between Santa Fe and Westmore.
Yeah, I think Edmond Santa Fe would probably be favored in that game.
Yep.
I mean, we've talked about that the last couple of weeks. Of course, it's just been tough going for 6A Division I on the west side for a long time. So
yeah, of course, the last state championship won on the west side was way back in 1995. Heck, I was still in school in 1995. Midwest City won it that season. But I got to tell you, Evans Santa Fe, I don't know if it's cockiness or got a chip, but they're feeling good about themselves.
A little froggy.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
We'll see. But I would definitely favor Edmond Santa Fe in this contest against Westmore.
Yeah.
Tulsa Union shut out Enid 55-0. Broken Arrow had an easy time with Pump City as they won that game 44-12. So it sets up another Tulsa Union Broken Arrow football game.
Yeah, and I go back and forth on this. I'm going to go with Broken Arrow in this game over Tulsa Union, but I think it's going to be a really, really close ball game.
Yeah.
But I think Broken Arrow will probably win that ball game. But it's definitely not a lock.
Yeah, no doubt. I think I'm on the same path with you. I think Broken Arrow are the favorites, and I would pick them to win, but you never know with Tulsa Union, those games, how things play out. Up in the Tulsa area, they love the 7:30 kickoff times.
They do.
They love the 7:30.
Keeping it old school.
Yeah, and so I when they went from in Oklahoma City here in Guthrie, we broadcast Guthrie football games. So we went. Sorry.
Oh boy, this is how it all begins right here.
They went from 7:30 to a 7 o'clock game, and then last week, and some other games because of COVID, games have been played at 6 o'clock, and there's some people saying, "Hey, 6 o'clock is a great time." Now, it was a high school.
Way too early.
It was a high school writer who got home an hour early,
who also doesn't have any other job.
Right.
I mean, the parents. There's no way.
Yeah, 7 o'clock is the sweet spot for me.
There's no way.
But I remember when we went to 7 o'clock games, I was like, oh, really?
It was so weird.
Now it's awesome.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in the Guymans or the
Laughtons,
Altises. The Altises.
Yes.
All those long jumps.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll be in Lawton this week. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Owasso got by last week, so Owasso will take on Mustang, who doubled up UConn 42-21. So Mustang making the trip up to Owasso. I bet Mustang wish it was a 7 o'clock game, not a 7:30 game. And the other side of the bracket is Jinx Trojans taking down the Moore Lions 51-19. And a couple West games here. Norman North beat rival Norman 42-34. So we have a Jinx Norman North matchup on one side, and the upper side of the bracket, Mustang and Owasso.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I think it's Owasso and Jinx that come out of those games, and we'll see each other in the semis. And I think the Class 6A1 was probably the easiest to get
to the Final Four, you think?
Yeah, I think
we're
so.
halfway there. What we expected to happen there.
Yeah.
And, so if things go like we think they are,
Right.
and that probably won't happen.
Well,
then.
we're rarely wrong.
Yeah. You would have one team from the West, 3 teams from the East, and again, Edmond, Santa Fe, Westmore. Obviously, one of those will be in the Final Four, so we'll see how it all plays out in 6A1. We both pick Owasso to win that state championship on this bracket. If it wasn't Owasso, who would you pick to win the state championship?
Probably Broken Arrow.
Okay.
Probably Broken Arrow.
Yep. All right. 6A2 football, Stillwater got by as well.
I took it on the chin.
Someone finally stopped Contrell Walker, though. I mean, he had 0 touchdowns and 0 rushing yards last week. So give it up to By, doing a good job of holding him down.
Strong defense.
They will play Sand Springs, the Sandites. Of course, Sand Springs also had a bye, so both of these teams have had a week off to get ready for each other. So Sand Springs visits Stillwater on Friday night. And the winner of that game awaits the winner between Choctaw and Pumpkin City North. Pumpkin City North had a pretty easy time over Bartlesville, 31-6. And I think, Phil, we picked all the games in 6A1 right, and we picked all the games in 6A2 correct as well. Some other scores last week: Dale City took down Ponca City 41-7. Midwest Cities shut out Muskogee 39-0, and Booker T. Washington took down Lawton 56-14. And so this week's matchup: Stillwater, Sand Springs, Choctaw, Pumpkin City North, Bixby, Dale City, and Midwest City and Booker T. Washington. And I got to tell you, I think Stillwater and Bixby will have will advance, although Dale City very athletic. Yeah. They have a good defense. Yeah. Bixby, I think, won that meeting earlier this year. Yeah. I think they played earlier this year. I'm pretty sure they did. But the bottom of the bracket is 2 good games: Choctaw, PC North, and Midwest City, Booker T. Washington.
Well, and I'd take Choctaw over PC North to, I think, set up a repeat of last year. I believe it was Choctaw and Stillwater in the semis last year.
Yes. So we broadcasted
we broadcasted that game. So we'll get to that was the box lunch situation we had 2019.
In the press box.
2019.
Oh, she was not going to let you have it.
Did not get a sandwich.
I got to tell you, mine tasted well. Mine tasted really well.
But I think Choctaw, Stillwater fill that in, and then Lawton. This is the tough one for me to call. Booker T and Midwest City.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go with Booker T. Washington. But boy, I think that should be a heck of a ball game.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go with Booker T. Washington as well, but I'm going to go with PC North.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to go with PC North on the other side. I think.
Good game.
Yeah. It should be a good game. Yeah. Is that game in Choctaw? I think that game's in Choctaw.
Yeah.
But a short trip, regardless what that is.
I think it doesn't matter. I think we're going to have a Bixby Stillwater final, just like the last 2 years, and we'll see what happens.
Yep. I would. So here's my question for you. If we both picked Bixby to win the state championship,
yes.
If Bixby was not to be, were not to win the state championship, who would be your state champion in this?
Stillwater.
Stillwater.
Yeah, Stillwater.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. All right. Class 5A football, and let me address this right off the bat because someone called me, I think.
Did you get in trouble?
No, I didn't get in trouble. And they
Did they attack you?
Well, they had a question.
Oh, question.
And so I told them I would address. Last week we talked about Piedmont hosting a first-round playoff game for the first time in 15, 16 years.
Right.
And they said, well, Guthrie finished ahead of Piedmont. Yeah. Well, remember, every team gets into the playoffs. Yeah. So usually your top 2 host a first-round playoff game. But this year, the top 4 host it. So that's why Piedmont gets the host.
Yeah. So
last week,
under normal situation, Piedmont would not have hosted a first-round playoff game, So
that
right.
So they answer the question. They don't have to yell at me anymore. That's how.
A lot of people get angry at you.
Well, and Guthrie had a bye, and so they were a little moody.
Yeah,
yes, a little moody. Yeah. So there you go. Piedmont Wildcats, they take down Noble, as we both projected there, 35-14. Piedmont beats Noble twice this year. This one not as competitive as the first one was. Noble, their season just kind of went downhill as the season went on.
It really did.
But Piedmont will go on the road to El Reno just like it was a year ago in the first round. Piedmont won that ball game. Again, El Reno, we talked about in our first segment, Phil. El Reno likely to be playing because of COVID reasons.
Yeah.
They had a first-round bye. El Reno will be without 4 starters. That does not include Dorian Plumley, who is the all guy, does everything for El Reno. You can buy your popcorn at the concession stand from him during your halftime.
And he would be in the conversation for Player of the Year in 5A.
Yes.
I mean,
he would be up there.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't get my vote.
But he
would be top 2 or 3 in 5A.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what do you got, Phil? El Reno, Piedmont. I think it's a very intriguing game. Teams are very familiar with each other. Obviously, you got the flexbone offense there, and so, boy.
Well, that's what we don't win. We don't know if the 4 starters are on defense. Are they on the offensive line? I mean, we just don't know. And I think if it was a healthy El Reno team, I would be very confident in saying El Reno would win this ball game. Mm-hmm. Personally, the way El Reno's played through the latter part of the year. Piedmont, we've talked about this a lot. They really kind of got over the hump last year, had a really good high school football team last year, and a good team this year, no doubt about it. But, when you have 4 starters out, not knowing where they are. Now, it might be kids that don't have that big of an impact or that's easier, but nothing's easy to replace as far as a starter. In a 5A school, you're going to see a drop.
Yeah.
But saying all that, I'm still going to go with El Reno because I think they're going to have the best player on the field. I think they'll be able to score a lot of points. Be a shootout. I don't think it's going to be that's by no means am I confident in that pick.
Yeah,
but I'm going to go with El Reno.
I honestly don't know.
I don't either.
I have no clue just because you don't know who they are.
Right.
I mean, if you take.
But I'm purely going because I think they do have the best player.
Yes.
And so
I think
that's
a lot of people would definitely agree with that. So, Pryor will take on McAllister.
Oh, wait, whoa.
Oh, what?
What was your pick, Christopher?
My pick?
Yeah.
I think 4 starters I think that's going to be a big deficit to overcome.
So what's your pick?
I think I'm going to have to pick Piedmont over El Reno. I just 4 starters is a whole lot.
What if it's a kicker, a punter, and a tight end?
No one counts those. Well, tight end, they count those.
Okay.
Yeah, I just.
Right. Well, that adds a little intrigue to next week's show.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
So, Dorian Plumley might be the player of the year after this ball game in 5A football.
Might get a little bonus.
You got 4 starters out. Piedmont needs to go in there and win.
No, listen, with 4 starters out, Piedmont should go in there and win.
Yeah.
I just don't. Again, we don't know where they're at. There's going to be a drop-off regardless, but I don't know. Man, he's so good.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Hey, we need to continue on with this 5A bracket, but we need to get a timeout because Jordan Leach will start yelling at us if we don't
get it. She's a yeller.
We got 23 minutes left in the show.
Yep, when nobody's looking, she's a hitter.
Oh, man. She don't get on her bad side.
I'm still recovering.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Going to take a timeout, come back, we're going to take a look at more of the 5A bracket, take a look at the 4A bracket as well as we continue on with the High School Huddle presented by Generations Church.
Aspen Roofing is a family-owned roofing company with more than 20 years of experience and achievements across Oklahoma. Aspen Roofing takes pride in the personal service we provide on each job, and we strive to maintain the highest level of quality while offering our customers a reasonable price. It is our commitment to help you understand the process of getting a new roof from start to finish. Call Robbie Hudson for a free roofing estimate at 405-562-0026.
Exon was founded by 2 combat-proven veterans to help businesses grow from mediocre to exceptional. We know from experience that your culture and trust throughout the organization drive superior performance. Most business owners focus on the urgent rather than the important. They are just struggling to survive. The team at Exon helps owners identify challenges, build solutions, and focus on growth. Do you trust your team? Does your team trust you? If not, we can help. We are Exit.
Hey, you in the third row. Yes, you. When was your last dental checkup? Dr. Louis Turney and his staff provide dental care in a fun, relaxing environment. Still not convinced? Prefer to sleep through your appointment? No problem. We can do that too. Our staff can ensure you have a relaxing experience no matter what. Got kids? Hey, so do we. Come see what all the moms are talking about. Our kid-friendly staff loves to provide care to even the tiniest of teeth. Give us a call today. We've got the whole family covered.
Give Dr. Louis Turney a call at 282-7600.
For centuries, it was a windswept prairie until the run of '89 saw settlers scramble for land and life in a newborn town as Oklahoma's territorial capital, Guthrie. Bank First is loyal to the preservation movement that reclaimed Oklahoma's first state capital. And we're loyal to the banking legacy born at the corner of First and Oklahoma streets. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
Today I'm sharing Golden Chick with the world. Are you ready to taste Golden Chick for the first time? 100% tenderloin, that's where the golden tenders come from, marinated for 24 hours.
It is amazing.
And we also got the rolls, made fresh.
It feels like they were just baked.
You know why it feels that way? They were.
Every time I go, I like to get extra rolls, so I love it.
We are being kind of photobombed right now by the one and only Clucky. Have you met Clucky the chicken? Don't get too starstruck. He's just a regular guy. One taste, and you're golden. He's on Tender. That's like a chicken dating app.
Sometimes you need immediate care and can't get in to see your doctor during regular hours. With Mercy Convenient Care in Guthrie, you can walk in without an appointment and get the medical attention you need at a lower cost and with shorter waiting time than your local emergency room. The Mercy Convenient Care is located at 2919 South Division. For any concerns, call 405-282-6301. Services are provided by Mercy Hospital, Logan County. Choose Guthrie. Choose Mercy.
At Generations Church, we exist to love God, love people, and serve both well. We're a multi-generational, multicultural church that believes in being a light to our city and our region. At Generations, we don't believe that church can be put in a box. We're a church that accepts all people from all walks of life, young, old, rich, and poor, and you will feel welcome at Generations. Join us at 10 a.m. every Sunday at 2524 West Noble in Guthrie, America. You can also join us at generationsguthrie.online.church.
Welcome back to the High School Huddle. Join the huddle yourself and let us know your thoughts by calling our toll-free number at 1-800-897-3678 or simply tweet us by using the hashtag OKHSHuddle. Now let's get back in the huddle and talk high school sports.
High School Huddle rolls on here on a Wednesday night, taking you up to the top of the hour here on Hot 93.7 FM KSPI. Along with Jordan Leach, Phil Nichols, I am Chris Evans. Welcome back here as we talk in high school football, as we take a look at Class 5A football. We've gone over what I think might be maybe the top game in 5A football, El Reno and Piedmont. Pryor takes on McAllister. Coweta takes on Claremore. I think McAllister and Coweta win both those games. Bishop McGinnis at Duncan. Can that be a good game, Phil?
I mean, it could be. I mean, for a while.
Yeah.
But I think McGinnis has got too much. I think they do have the player of the year in 5A and Luke Tarman, and they got the young sophomore. They've got some really talented wide receivers on that team. Very efficient offensive and defensive line.
Yep.
I mean, they're just a good football team, and I think they're just going to be too much for the Demons. Listen, it's the playoffs. I think Duncan will stick around the first quarter, maybe battle a little bit in the second quarter. It could be like a 21-7, 21-14 game at halftime, and then I think you come out in the third quarter, and I think that's when Mr. Tarman and team will take over, and it'll be they'll be advancing.
Well, I got to tell you, that was a pretty good breakdown.
Thanks.
I mean, that was big time.
Well, you criticized the daylights out of me at the first break. Thought I was mailing it in, so I got a little serious.
I got to tell you, you couldn't have broken that down any better.
Oh, good.
That was well done.
Be reflected in our next contract negotiations.
Well done. Okay. Duncan beat Eisenhower last week, 21-3. Yeah. And Duncan's a team that's slowly getting there. Over at Halliburton Stadium, nice press box
We've
over
been there many times.
Yeah, we're going there next year.
See you in Collinsville. That's still my favorite call you've ever done.
Other side of the bracket, Philip, Carl Albert will be hosting Ardmore on the post the Palace on Post Road.
Yeah.
Ardmore last week took down Woodward 35-14.
Yeah, I mean, that's we've seen both teams. Well, obviously, we've seen Carl Albert a couple times. We've seen Woodward. We have not seen Ardmore, but I don't think it really matters. I think Carl Albert will handle Ardmore. I think they'll handle him fairly easily. I mean, Carl Albert's just loaded. They got probably the second best player in 5A in junior.
Cantrell,
Bazell, great linebacker and junior running back, and he's all man. I mean, he looks the part and can flat play. And
you got Javian Hunt and Ben Harris.
You got a 4-year starter in Ben Harris. You got, and I can never remember
Coach
the kids.
Corley.
Yeah, Coach Corley's not too bad, but I can never remember. But Carl Albert always has 2 or 3 defensive backs that end up playing major college football every year.
Yep.
You know, it's just, and we've seen them this year. We went over and watched them play Bixby. Remember number 9? I don't remember.
I can't remember his name either.
The kid's legit.
Yeah, I remember.
I mean,
number 9.
He can flat play, and so it's I think they're just too much.
I would agree with there. Bishop Kelly had a bye last week, and they will take on Tahlequah, who sneaked by Edison Prep 34-29. So Bishop Kelly takes on Tahlequah. Bishop Kelly will be the favorite there, which will feature a nice quarterfinal matchup between Carl Albert and Bishop Kelly, which is a game you usually see in a semifinal deal.
Yeah.
So I think we'll get that game in the quarterfinal. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Sapulpa and Shawnee.
Sapulpa.
Shawnee wins 35-34 in a heroic. I saw I watched a little bit at the beginning of it and then turned it off, and then Shawnee with a late score. It looked like Sapulpa was running up the middle, and then the Shawnee kid took it away and ran the other way for a touchdown for a late score, and Shawnee wins that game 35-34. The Wolves enjoying 5A football. I think they're done with that 6A too, but they're on the edge still. Anyway, Shawnee will go on the road and take on Collinsville. Collinsville undefeated on the season, and so we'll see. Shawnee, Collinsville.
Yeah, I mean Collinsville's going to win that game. I think. I mean, Shawnee. We saw them in opening week for the Blue Jays, a game that we called here, and you can't gauge a lot in a week 1 contest, especially this year,
because they've gotten better.
Oh, they've gotten much better.
Yeah.
They got in football shape. They had a new coaching staff, so they had opportunity to get to learn and to get used to one another.
Yep.
Shawnee's got some very good athletes. Collinsville just really came on in 5A the last several years.
Yeah.
And they're legit. We did a little exercise before we came on the air tonight.
Yeah, we did.
And and they were definitely in the first column that we listed, but they're I think Collinsville's too much for the Wolves, and I think Collinsville will be moving on.
And before we get to our little note here, and it's just our thinking here, but the other matchup that you'll hear right here on Hot 93.7 FM KSPI on Friday night, the Guthrie Blue Jays traveling to Lawton MacArthur. Both teams were off last week. Yep. I think this will be like the 6th meeting between the two schools. All their meetings have been in the playoffs.
Playoffs?
Including one that Guthrie likes to forget about a couple years ago, got beat 50-0. But Guthrie did beat Lawton Mac in the state championship. So it's always good. Most of the time, these are really good games when these two teams get together. Guthrie at Lawton MacArthur, and I really, truly think this is a 50-50 type game here for both teams.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, the Blue Jays are not the Blue Jays of old, although they're very young and they're coming on. Put Mac in that same category.
Yep.
This is a definite pick'em game. I mean, I think it could be a 35, 28. I think it could be a 38-35 game. I think it could be a 24-21 game. I think it just depends, but it's going to be.
I tend to go in the lower.
Yeah, probably will be. I mean,
because
I think both teams are going to run the ball quite a bit.
Yeah.
It all depends on. Now this will be the third week. It'll actually be about the 5th week, but third game where the Blue Jays have been able to adjust. When they lost a key cog on the offensive line, had to shuffle a lot of kids.
Yep.
And I think that will have an effect. I am a homer. Any chance I get, I pick the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Not going to change this week. I'm going Blue Jays.
I think Guthrie's got a great opportunity to go on the road and win. They've had plenty of time to get ready for Lawton Mac. Mac's had the same time to get ready for Guthrie as well. But Guthrie's only played one time in the last month.
Right.
Is that right?
One time in 20.
Jones and McGinnis.
They played one time in the last month, yeah. Yeah, because they lost to McGinnis and then had a week.
No, they played.
Right? No, lost to McGinnis, had a week off.
Then played Jones.
Had a week
off, and now playing again.
Yeah. So basically a game in the last 21 days.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. Blue Jays started off 5 wins in a row, have lost their last 2 to two great programs in Jones and Bishop McGinnis. So that is your 5A bracket, Phil. I'll ask you here.
Yeah.
See if we agree. If Carl Albert did not win the state championship, who would you have winning the Class 5? Who do you think would win the 5A game?
Gosh, it'd have to come down to either McGinnis or Coweta for me.
Yep.
If that game was played, I think it would be an epic ball game. I'd probably go with McGinnis, simply because of Tarman and Associates, but probably go with McGinnis.
We could find out next week if Coweta and McGinnis both win. It will be a great matchup. 5A has a great opportunity to have Coweta and McGinnis, Carl Albert and Bishop Kelly.
Yeah.
Those are. That's only in the quarterfinals. We haven't got to the semis yet.
Big time.
Yeah. It would be fun to watch there. We got to thinking. We got probably a few minutes we could spend on this. With the Rafe Watkins news. He's 133 and 30 in Guthrie, 35 and 36 in Muskogee. Tougher to win games in 6A2 than it is in 5A football, right?
Yeah, there's no doubt. When you go through it
through the board, you're Midwest City, Bixby, Booker T. Washington, Putnam City North this year. I'm sure Stillwater,
Dale City, very
Dale
athletic.
City, Booker T. It's a lot. It's a
top to bottom,
and there's less teams in there, but
Choctaw.
There's so mmany teams. You might run into somebody that who I don't even know what kind of team you would run. Maybe a Ponca City. You're like, oh, Ponca City, but they're a better program too, and they're getting better and better.
I'll put it this way: if Muskogee was in 5A,
oh well, yeah. Well, here's a perfect example. Sapulpa.
Yeah.
They were in 6A2 for several years
Yeah.
and had a hard time. They got better as closer, but now they're in 5A football and, had a much better time in 5A football. But out of the 32 teams, Phil and I roughly this year think there's 5 good teams, 13 average teams, and 14 teams below average.
Yes. I think that's very, very – and I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
I'm not – and it's weird. It's tough.
And it's not just 5A football. It's 5A, a lot of sports. Basketball. You have your 3 or 4 teams that can win it all. Then you have a handful after that are pretty good teams. And you got a handful after that can compete. And then you have some teams that aren't so good. So, anyway, it's always, the reason it all came up was because with the Rafe deal. You won 133 games and however many years in Guthrie. And what's the difference? He knows football the same, so anyway, just a discussion. Okay. Hey, final time out here on the High School Huddle, presented by Generations Church.
At Generations Church, we exist to love God, love people, and serve both well. We're a multi-generational, multicultural church that believes in being a light to our city and our region. At Generations, we don't believe that church can be put in a box. We're a church that accepts all people from all walks of life, young, old, rich, and poor, and you will feel welcome at Generations. Join us at 10 a.m. every Sunday at 2524 West Noble in Guthrie, America. You can also join us at generationsguthrie.online.church.
Hey, you in the third row. Yes, you. When was your last dental checkup? Dr. Louis Turney and his staff provide dental care in a fun, relaxing environment. Still not convinced? Prefer to sleep through your appointment? No problem. We can do that too. Our staff can ensure you have a relaxing experience no matter what. Got kids? Hey, so do we. Come see what all the moms are talking about. Our kid-friendly staff loves to provide care to even the tiniest of teeth. Give us a call today. We've got the whole family covered.
Give Dr. Louis Turney a call at 282-7600.
For centuries, it was a windswept prairie until the run of '89 saw settlers scramble for land and life in a newborn town as Oklahoma's territorial capital, Guthrie. Bank First is loyal to the preservation movement that reclaimed Oklahoma's first state capital. And we're loyal to the banking legacy born at the corner of First and Oklahoma Streets. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
Today I'm sharing Golden Chick with the world. Are you ready to taste Golden Chick for the first time? 100% tenderloin. That's where the golden tenders come from. Marinated for 24 hours.
It is amazing.
Then we also got the rolls, made fresh.
It feels like they were just baked.
You know why it feels that way? They were.
Every time I go, I like to get extra rolls, so I love it.
We are being kind of photobombed right now by the one and only Clucky. Have you met Clucky the chicken? Don't get too starstruck. He's just a regular guy. One taste, and you're golden. He's on Tender. That's like a chicken dating app.
Sometimes you need immediate care and can't get in to see your doctor during regular hours. With Mercy Convenient Care in Guthrie, you can walk in without an appointment and get the medical attention you need at a lower cost and with shorter waiting time than your local emergency room. The Mercy Convenient Care is located at 2919 South Division. For any concerns, call 405-282-6301. Services are provided by Mercy Hospital, Logan County. Choose Guthrie. Choose Mercy. Aspen Roofing is a family-owned roofing company with more than 20 years of experience and achievements across Oklahoma. Aspen Roofing takes pride in the personal service we provide on each job, and we strive to maintain the highest level of quality while offering our customers a reasonable price. It is our commitment to help you understand the process of getting a new roof from start to finish. Call Robbie Hudson for a free roofing estimate at 405-562-0026.
Exxon was founded by two combat-proven veterans to help businesses grow from mediocre to exceptional. We know from experience that your culture and trust throughout the organization drive superior performance. Most business owners focus on the urgent rather than the important. They are just struggling to survive. The team at Exxon helps owners identify challenges, build solutions, and focus on growth. Do you trust your team? Does your team trust you? If not, we can help. We are Exxon.
Welcome back to the High School Huddle. Join the huddle yourself and let us know your thoughts by calling our toll-free number at 1-800-897-3678 or simply tweet us by using the hashtag OKHSHuddle. Now let's get back in the huddle and talk high school sports.
Final segment here on the High School Huddle, taking up to the 7 o'clock hour. Again, we'll be back here next week, our season finale next week, Phil. So
going to the off season.
Going to the off season after next week here on 93.7 FM.
You going to trade everybody like the Thunder?
No,
am I on the cutting block?
You know what? I'm going to draft everybody and have a fun draft day and kind of overshadow the 23 wins.
So you're going to let me just...
you're franchised.
Franchised.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I mean, we can remove that tag at any time.
Code word for free.
I mean, we signed Jordan to a long-term deal.
Oh, yeah. We need to lock up the talent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Jordan Leach back in our Stillwater studio. Class 4A football. Weatherford hosting Cushing this week. That'll be a fun ball game. Cushing took down Bethany 41-17. Hilldale takes on Grove. Wagner will host Salisaw. Wagner big favorites there.
Yeah.
Is it Tuttle Newcastle? I think it's Tuttle Newcastle this week. Tuttle won that game earlier. I do believe those towns not too far from each other. Blanchard will play no. Tuttle will play Tecumseh. Remember, Cash cannot play.
Oh, that's right.
Cash won 49-41, but due to COVID reasons, Tecumseh, despite losing by 8, moves on to play Blanchard. I don't think it really matters.
No.
Blanchard's.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's okay.
One more game. Mascot for Tecumseh.
Savages.
Oh, there you go.
Bristow will take on Broken Bow. Poto.
There you go.
Snuck by last week. Will take on Skytook. Skytook in 4A after a few years in Class 5A football. So Skytook takes on Poto. Clinton and Ada, another matchup there. You're talking about two historic programs. Proud programs in Clinton and Ada there. So those are your 4A matchups. 3A football matchups. Perkins Trayon Demons, our good friends over there. They're not listening to us right now because they got a coach's show, but maybe they watch the replay.
Maybe later.
But we're rooting for you, Perkins.
Always are.
No one in Perkins is listening to us, but
unless you're playing our little league team, then I want you to lose.
They got a big test though. They got to go on the road to Kingston this week. Big test there.
And that sounds a long ways away.
Yeah,
Kingston.
Look it up real quick.
No, don't have time. We're up against the clock.
As I break this down, you can
know how far Kingston is.
You go Perkins to Kingston, and they'll take care of the rest of it. Veneta takes on Stigler. Stigler be a favorite there. Holland Hall takes on Shakota. And then the game, interesting game here, I think. Kingfisher last week took down Dixon 49-8. Lone Grove took down Mount St. Mary 47-7. So we have Kingfisher in Lone Grove. I think Kingfisher will win that one. It'll be interesting. Phil, I just told you.
I did it.
Did it not work? Okay.
Perkins to Kingston, Oklahoma.
Okay, hit maps.
Oh.
There you go. Yeah, there we go.
Embarrass me in front of everybody.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Anytime it says Texas.
Oh, yeah, you want
that's a long way.
Okay, this is going
This is going to go a lot worse than I thought. Driving. Oh, never mind. 7.7 miles, they claim.
Perkins to – let me see if I can do it real quick.
See, I'm a big Chief Crayon kind of
Perkins
guy.
to where? Kingston?
Kingston.
Perkins to Kingston. It's not. Yeah, it's going to take way too long.
Okay, never mind.
It's going to take way too long.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Jordan will start yelling at us if we go.
No, she's a screamer.
So, anyway, those are I couldn't get the 2A. Cash and good luck to who's in Cashin this week. Good luck to Elmore City Purnell. I'm sure you'll have a
great time.
Great time on the way back on the bus on the way back.
Do you have an upset of the week? If you had to pick one team that you think could upset a favorite as we're getting ready to sign off here. I got 6:57. What do you got?
I got 7 o'clock.
Oh, boy, never mind. We don't have time for all this
We
stuff.
got to get out of here. A big thank you to our good friends at Generations Church. Find them online. Find them on Facebook. And Josh Seabolt, great pastor over there. 2524 West Noble, Generations Church. Check them out. If you can attend, always check them out online. All the services on there. Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock. For Jordan Leach, Phil Nichols, I'm Chris Evans. This has been the High School Huddle.
This has been the High School Huddle on Hot 93.7 FM. Be sure to tune in next week as we break down more of the top games and news from across the state of Oklahoma.